right, guys. First review for today is Alterac Pass, and we have the draft recorded, so I'm going to start from the draft screen, then we'll go to the actual game. Uh, so, the overall objectives of this map are because it's uh, so large of a map, and it's so hard to get between the lanes because of the mud pits. You generally want some semi-reliable solo laners on the outside. So we have that in Hogger, who's probably top tier solo laner for this map because of the null camp and his ability to take that very very quickly for free. And we first picked this, so this was a very good opener. The Tychus ban is to help mitigate a counter to Hogger. Something to keep in mind is when we do ban Tychus, that avails them to go into Diablo, and I'm pretty sure that that is how they went on their first pick. So it was first pick Hogger, and then like Diablo Diva or something like that. Why don't we see? Um, Diablo Samuro. Okay. Um, so we did Hogger, Diablo, Samuro, and then we went into Anduin Vala. I think what I'd like to start doing is not ban Brightwing now, because I think we need more of options into punishes for um, hypermobility characters, and we lack CC outside of the tank in a couple of our drafts, and so um, or at least like point and click CC. So I think we're going to start leaving Brightwing open a little bit more often, um, and that will give us a little bit more flexibility in the healer slot. For example, in this one, Brightwing polymorphing either Diablo or Diva in particular can be very helpful. Um, Not to mention in the Infernal Shrines game, I think Brightwing would have been better like into the Zeratul and stuff like that. And so I think we're going to try and play around with just leaving Brightwing up a little bit more, um, because there's already so many good healers to our conversation last night. I don't think we necessarily need to be banning them unless it's counters a particular way that we're going to be going. Now, he does counter Hogger to some extent, and so there's a little bit of synergy here with the bans, but yeah, something we could start thinking about. Alrighty, so then let's see. Let me mute this. After they go to that, we end up banning Stukov. No, we go Rhaegar, which I think is good because uh, that works well with Diablo and Orphea in particular. And I don't think Lily was the right choice for them that they ended up going. Other possible bans here could have been another solo laner, potentially like Malthael or uh, even Falstad or something like that, or Global. Um, so they go the Orphea, which I think is pretty good. Um, she essentially like has to bait out. She baits out like Anduin trait a lot of times, just because she has so much uh, poke damage and area control, and both of her ults are pretty great. So we discussed a couple options here with the off solo laner. Falstad is obviously really great on this map. Um, since there's two bosses, having Gust for that is incredibly great, and having an option to get a little bit of soak in the interim between fights on this map is pretty great as well. And so Falstad's really great. I do think Thrall obviously ended up working out for us. The Sunders were really good, and of course, all of his he essentially has three different giant killer talents between Rolling Thunder, Ancestral Wrath, and Alpha Wolf. So, um, you know, that ended up playing out pretty well. And then we ended up going into a new Barak, I think, which ultimately I think was a good pick. Other options could have been Garrosh for tossing away the Diva bombs, tossing in Diablo. If we didn't ban Tychus, we could, you know, get some tosses into that as well. Um, I do think, let's see, yeah, a new Barak works well because we can cocoon, like dismantling Diva and um, Orphea like takes away a significant amount of their threat, like because just Diablo, just Samuro, and just Lily isn't that big a deal. So like I think a lot of the cocoons were on Orphea, which I think was probably the best target that ended up working out really well. Diva is also another good target to cocoon because what's left, can't really do a whole lot. Um, other tank possibilities. Let's see. They banned the Joe. Could ETC have worked here? Maybe they didn't have. They don't really have interrupts besides the APOC and Orphea ult, which by the time either of them get CC'd, it's not gonna matter. But that's something. Maybe ETC could have worked. Um, I'm glad we didn't go Muradin. I don't like Muradin into Diva and Samuro. Let me clear this out. Um, though I say that, but the Thunderclap could be good into Diva and Samuro. So um, yeah, I think that's fine. But I think uh, if I was to compare Muradin and a Nubarak in these drafts, I do think the Nubarak is the better pick just because of dismantling their composition. Um, let's see. Yeah, I think that's it. So yeah, to an earlier point, um, you know, essentially we don't have any hard CC outside of the Anubarak, and so I think there's an argument for leaving up the Bright Wings a little bit more and availing ourselves of that if necessary, because Brightwing into Diva can be pretty good. All right, so draft's over. Let's hop into the game. All right, remember on this map, the objectives um, take at least 30 seconds to channel. Okay, so at the start, it takes 30 seconds to complete uh, the first objective, and then every objective beyond that adds 5 seconds to the channel time. Um, Anubrak is really good on this map because of his beetles can essentially tank the threat from the defenders, and he can channel on his own, which is pretty great. And so that's always a tech that you can go into is, while the rest of the team is doing something, Anubarak can essentially cap the objective by himself. But beyond that, really, this right here is the number one objective. Uh, Getting this on cooldown, which because we have Hogger, we're pretty much able to do, and it is okay to forego the objective for a little bit to get that camp because if you allow it to push during the while you're trying to fight for the objective, that's always an advantage. Why? Well, because this is actually one of the strongest siege camps in the game. Um, it's to some extent even stronger than uh, the regular giants because the three gnolls stand in the front of the wave rather than in the back, and they um, have an AoE armor debuff. And so and that works on structures as well. So they armor debuff the structures, which is pretty insane. So, um, you know, in particular on a map where the core has armor, that could be really, really good. So, mid is pretty important. Um, yeah, so let's go ahead and hop in and see what we can talk about. All right, so right before everything starts, let's address how does each team engage? Well, for us, it's pretty clear, right? We have um, very clear CC from Anubarak, good follow-up from Thrall and Anduin, and then I think we go Rain of Vengeance, which ends up working out for us, and then Hogger is usually a follow-up or an initiator with Shockwave, which we get a couple of those in this fight. So pretty clear, as long as we communicate the CC from Anubarak first, right? Um, and then follow up with any of these as the second or third layers here on out. For theirs, it's not as clear. A lot of them, their fight is just dealing out damage because Samuro, no lockdown. Orphea does have lockdown, and she's got both great poke and high good AoE damage. Diva is meant to just harass, but not really much CC. I think she does go bunny hop though, which is pretty great. And of course they have the Diablo, and so they're looking to initiate with Diablo, follow up with Orphea, and then these two are just doing damage, and then Lily just exists. Um, so at least in this opening fight, we should have the advantage, I would say, just because of the CC that we have. All right, good burrow charge. All right, and just for comparison, I just want to see how that goes in the on comms. See if there's any communication there.
Let us be careful with that.
Okay, we're just sort of poking it out. Coming with Hog Wild.
Root on Orphea or Lily. Dang it, they all look the same.
All right, I'm going bottom. Okay.
No.
All right, yeah, not bad. So Josh, called out his CC, and then Mike followed up, which is great. And Mike just go ahead and call out that you're going to burrow charge in. Generally, it's tough fishing for CC with Anduin Root, and so we're lucky that panned out. Compared to something a little bit more consistent, like well, and that's something to say too, is like burrow charge can sometimes be fishing as well, because it's just not as guaranteed as like a Diablo charge, and so maybe this is sort of like a fishing comp. We have a fishing route, we have a fishing route, and we have fishing CC, and so maybe it is more beneficial to fish with those routes and then look to follow up everywhere else. So yeah, maybe that's something. Either way, just everyone be sure to call out your CC. All right, I go straight bot, and Steven goes top. So this matchup generally will probably lean towards the Samuro because, well, let's see what talent he went. Did he go Wave of the Wind? Yeah, and then I think there's an AoE talent at 1, I think, that he could have gone. But either way, I think the matchup goes here because it's hard to get the Chain Lightning value, but we'll see how that pans out through the match. On this matchup, it's actually kind of hard because Hogger can't really do much to Diva unless he gets a loot horde and then stun or a wall bang or something like that. So really, we're not looking to overly trade into, or I'm not looking to overly trade into Diva. I'm looking to soak the waves, maybe poke him with dynamite, and get to the camp as much as possible because I know for sure that I do win in the camp clearing. All right, and then we have the 3-man here. Of course, they don't have Lily, and so we do have a little bit of an advantage. They don't have the healer, so I think there could be a little bit of aggression that could be put out. Let's see. Okay, Burrow charges up. I think I call that I need to go to the camp, and so Mike or somebody comes down. Yeah, Kyle comes down. Yeah, for that reason, it's pretty tough. And you can sort of avoid this a little bit by you know don't worry about fighting in the wave so much, and you can poke out with your Q, and pretty much with Samuros, the second you land your root on them, they're probably going to pop their Q and break out of it because it'll break any roots and stuff. So yeah, that's always pretty tough. All right, camp's almost done. Okay, we're just clearing waves against each other. Yeah, so that was a good look from Mike because they don't have their healer. I think it needs to be recognized when they aren't supported by their healer, and we need to be calling that out. Let's check the comms and see what happened.
Nice. Camera would be. Oh, she slapped me.
Should be around now.
Going down.
You
go
liked
back
it.
up, Kyle.
Might not be.
You're building these sort of Q quests, you have tons of targets.
Yeah, I mean, he's not gonna kill me, but
Semro's here. You're alone up there.
He swapped.
Okay. Yeah, I think that was potentially a missed opportunity. We did get the call in that that's a good communication for Steven that hey, you got some time to free clear since Samuro's not here. But yeah, as far as we know, where are Diablo and Lily? We have no idea. And considering the time on the clock, it can be surmised that they're probably doing the camp, which these are literally the worst two to take the camp. You can see how uncoordinated this team was, right? Whereas we have the advantage of being a 5-man, and so exploit that, right? If there's a DPS that does not have their healer and we are 3, yeah, this should probably be a kill. So we need to be calling that out. Yeah, and so especially now, since y'all are 3 and we have the null camp, we need to support this null camp and get some damage, get some beetles in there. She's getting a free clear, which probably shouldn't happen at all since she's by herself. Oh man, yeah, that's okay. Well, that was we got pretty lucky with that impale. Outside of this, this would have been a pretty missed opportunity, but we ended up capitalizing on it just a little late. Okay, looks like Mike's going back for mana. All right, that should be a call to back up, and I think I want to say that Josh does that. Okay, Mike soaks bot while I go to the camp. All right, so let's talk about. I actually think um, this objective area and this objective area, if you're the defending team and if you're the defending team here, are some of the hardest places to defend. Here and here is a little bit easier because the paths are a little bit more obvious of where you can go. You have bushes that can aid you in all of that, whereas this is relatively exposed, and the channels through which you get there are pretty long. Um, that's a pretty long path, and then this is a shorter path, but you have to go through these choke areas. Um, so, whatever the path, it is. I don't think I have ever experienced a Storm League game where when the team split approaches the way that they come, ending up working out. And so it's almost always to the benefit of the team that's defending to declare ahead of time which path they're coming from, and usually this is the better one. Um, so just bear that in mind. Um, like, yeah, you do have the benefit of like towers on this side, but to get the whole value out of that, they have to come all the way down here to chase you, and it's just really not that great. Um, some other things to talk about with this map. From here, you can pretty much easily stall the objective with many heroes. That in particular, this is why Junkrat and Chromie are really good on this map. Tassadar is really good on this map because they can just easily poke it out for free. Um, Stitches can get really good hooks and pull people into the fort right here. That's why this is really good Stitches map. So yeah, just some factoids there. Um, so we'll have the camp pushing. Um, I know for a fact that we don't come from the same angle on this. So let's see how this pans out and why it punishes us. All right, camp is cleared. I called it that I'm going bot and for Mike to go top. See, here you can see why Samuro works out here, and this is for the same reason that Anubarak does well on this map, is he can allow his clones to tank the minions while he does the objective. Yeah, and so because they're already set up, right? Um, it's it's really not helpful. It's not, we don't have much of advantage or surprise or anything to be walking through this way. In fact, that we're just literally walking into Diablo, and he can pretty easily wall stun us here. Let's see what he does. Yeah, or he just does the toss and then the. Yeah. So we can see how rough that is. Not only for how sort of weird the engage was, but because of how awkward that makes it for your back line. Because if, say, here's our tank, our healer, and our ranged, right? And here comes Thrall, right? Say that the tank moves in, okay? They still have their team here, right? And they can easily move down and pincer the healer in the range, which is what happens, right? So let's back up. Watch how. Just keep an eye on Josh and Kyle, and watch how sort of awkward this fight is for them, and how sort of difficult it is for Anduin to heal everybody simply because of just coming through this corridor. Ooh, yeah, and they end up getting all four. Yeah, so that's pretty rough, right? Um, so yeah, I mean, we can see the inherent troubles of coming through this way. the escapes are obviously a little bit better. You have lots of options retreating this way. Like you can come down, you can come this way. You know, you have easy access to the well here. You can also come this way if necessary. So yeah. So when we're on this side, or if we are on this side defending, come from this angle. Usually the off lane can do the flanking on this side, and of course it's this is why it's great to have a Chromie or a Tassadar to poke, or a Junkrat to poke from safety here. All right, and yep, we split the way we should, where we keep the 3-man mid, because mid is the most important, at least in the early game, and we get our solos on the outers. Go ahead and speed up here. See, I'm going to follow Mike's CC here. Let's see what the cooldowns are. Okay, I know that I call that I'm coming up and looking for a flank. Okay, we get... Yeah, I think the burrow charge was a little late. As soon as you see, and I called that I'm coming in for a flank, and I knock back. I end up getting Diablo. I go for everybody, but I end up getting Diablo. Whoever gets locked down, you need to follow up on that lockdown. This comes back to that layering of CC, because you don't have Q, right? So it's not really to the benefit of like just being in their face beyond zoning them out, which I think there is some value to that. But as soon you start making the walk this way, right, and you're zoning them out. But as soon as Diablo gets locked down, and you need to burrow charge in and follow up on that CC, and I'm pretty sure he dies there. Let's watch. Yeah, I think he could have died. Another thing on a Nubrak too is it's okay to like fish with your Q sometimes. Consider also like, I don't know if your first impale was communicated. Let's see, because you're I'm referring to, let's see. Well, there's one right there. Yeah, I'm referring to this one. So let's see what was being said here.
I'm not playing.
Where are we? I'm down here with Diva still.
Okay.
I'm coming in.
We have the Merc camp pushing.
Oh.
Okay, that's after. Let's see. We're gonna be 10 in a second.
Yes.
Sorry, guys. Taking a while. Okay.
In the
there
back.
we
In
go.
the back.
So,
We saved the vast majority of the fort.
I'm coming coming mid. Maybe we can get a fight before the
Burrow's
end.
hurt and left, so
Diablo?
We can get the Diablo in the back. In the back.
Murrow's rotating down.
Yeah. So it didn't seem like your earlier impales were communicated. Before I'm talking about before this, the ones where we were fishing. So just again, be saying, I'll have impale in a couple seconds. Be looking to follow up. Okay, impale going out or stun. I stun. I stun. I stun. Just that that repeating of that language, right? Um, we see it to great effect in Hogger, right? Where I'm just yelling, I stun, I stun, I stun, right? And it's just a clear indicator to the team, oh, yeah, I go right here, right? And so just we need more of that loud communication from the tank. Okay, I'm on camp. They're going to be 10 in a second. I think that's called as well. We just need to turtle up until level 10. Okay, we soak. All right, I think I call can we go bot, and we're looking to kill the Orphea. Yeah, okay. Um, I recall this going. Let's see.
You just used it.
Cool down. So
Sure, I didn't realize you were so low. What is?
can we go bottom?
Yeah. Get the Orphea.
You stun? You stun? You stun? You stun?
Yes,
Shockwave?
all
Yep,
stun.
there we go. Yeah, so I'm essentially trying to goat Mike into talking and communicating his stun because I can't really open it up. So um, I'm wanting to know when it's happening. Okay. Um, and yeah, we end up doing well with this. I say let's get the boss. We immediately start it, which is great, and we do an even better job of abandoning the boss as soon as they come, which is great. You don't ever have to commit to something as soon as it starts. Like it's fine to give up on bosses in particular. If the team ends up coming into you, it's almost always 100% better to just stop touching the boss and go onto the enemy team. So we did a really good job of doing that. Okay, let me speed up. Okay, Diablo comes down. Josh calls out the light bomb, which was good. Let me zoom out. Okay, let me back up because I had some camera issues there. Let's take a look. And actually, let's look at comms here.
We can still fight.
Oh, Diablo's here with me.
Light bomb.
No.
Light bomb.
Oh.
Orphea ult, watch out. Huge hog wild. Huge hog wild. Nope. Oh. Okay, yeah, so let's see. what kind of CCs did or did not get communicated. So Josh calls out the light bomb. Orphea ult, watch out. Huge hog wild. Huge hog wild. Nope.
On a Lily. Good route.
Okay. Yeah, so at least in that fight, I saw some what's it called? Feral spirit, feral wolf, whatever the root is called. Some thrall roots, some Nubrak stuns. We ended up getting a Rain of Vengeance, which was a follow-up, I think, onto a root. We had a root come out from Anduin. I don't think any of those were communicated except for the light bomb. So a lot of these were just being thrown out on their own as fishing. So it obviously ends up panning out for us, but it should, right? Because we're a 5-man coordinated team and they're not. And so, imagine, what, could we have saved a Nubrak if the fight went quicker because we lined up our CC rather than, it sort of being all independently done on its own. Yeah, and there, I should have said, I've got Hog Wild or something, or I've got Escape or something. That way, Josh doesn't have to burn his Leap of Faith because I ended up Hog Wilding out of there. So I'll be sure to communicate that better. Okay, Orpheus starts on the OBJ. Yeah, great. Let's see how that panned out in comms.
I'm no mana. Alright, we need to get on the Orpheus up here.
Just poker.
So,
Follow up route.
Stun.
Get him.
Stun.
Nice.
Somebody soak bot. We're losing fort, and I'm gonna do the objective. Yeah, good communication there from Josh in particular to layer the stun. I didn't call out my whatever my key was called, my staggering blow stun, because I actually didn't think it would stun him. I was looking to get the dense blasting powder and just get lots of AoE bombs out, but it ended up like getting a weird collision for him and getting the stun there, so that ended up working out. And then Josh was really keen to follow up on that route, and then of course we had the yelling of I stun, and then we get the kill. So that was really great. Yeah, as soon as on this map, especially with Diablo death timer, right? As soon as you get a kill, we want to try and regain control of the map with the siege camp, and especially since we're about to lose bot fort as well, and make sure we have control of the map state before we go into the objective. Oh, good try. You probably get that kill if I don't call you off of it. All right. I think Steven chooses to start going top, but then I call him off of it to say, and the reason I say to come back is because this won't get the fort, because this wave is coming up, and it will take some damage, and essentially we're making the call to trade a little bit of fort damage for the opportunity to fight 5v5, because they are getting onto our objective. And we will have a little bit of an advantage with the Merc camp pushing. top fort ends up going down. Alright, everything but staggering blows up, and I think I call that I don't have staggering blow. All right, cool. Some good stuff happening there. Let's get into the comms and see how that goes. Down Orphea ult. Shockwave for 15 seconds.
Diva's gonna, yeah, she's in there.
Diva ult down. Orphea ult down. Diva. Nice.
Heal Mike, light bomb on Mike. Oh.
Shockwave.
well.
Shockwave.
All good.
Oh, on me.
Oop, Kyle needs help in the back.
I'm trying.
Okay. Yeah, some pretty good comms there. I'm going to back it up and just look at positioning this time. We're just going to go very slowly. All right, and again, we're not going to obviously cap the objective until we get a kill here. Looks like Samuro is clearing mid, and then Diva is bot, and so we're going to try and look for some sort of pincer to try and take care of this. Okay, let's go back just a few seconds. All right, maintaining relatively good distance with the offlaners sort of flanking out a little bit. Okay, Kyle vaults down and Josh goes up. Obviously this is a split decision. It's probably the best path for Kyle. He just needs to be prepared to flank around. Oop, my color changed. To get as close to Josh as he can while kiting around the Diva. Yeah, and Diva's unstoppable during that, so don't worry about doing whatever that's called, Rain of Vengeance. Or just time that a little bit better. All right, Mike cocoons the Orphea, but it gets broken. We're calling out Diva. She gets stunned. She gets broken out of the mech. Root onto Samuro. Sundering to interrupt the Diva escape. Kyle's out of the fight, essentially. What I'd like to hear from Kyle is, I'm low, or I'm out. To let us know that we are not going to have you because you have no mana or no health, just so we can be aware of what's going on, because we're also hardcore focusing on whatever the target is, and our ability to be able to do that can be informed by whether or not we have our damage or not. And Josh can say, come to me. Okay, great look onto the burrow charge there. It ends up missing, but that was a great look. Okay. The APOC comes. We're pretty stacked, but it's more of a result of the focusing of the target there. It's probably gonna miss. It ends up hitting Steven. Okay. Because they all move down, Kyle's actually in a pretty good position. Okay. Let's take a look at the damage that Mike takes throughout the fight here. Okay, getting autoed. Auto. Q from Orphea. Burrow charge in. He's getting sustained a little bit. Yeah. It's actually a good thing Light Bomb didn't go onto a new Brack. I think Josh, tried to click a new Brack, but then it went on to me instead. I don't think it would have gone off, and you would have gotten the full cooldown. Um, okay. Kyle's kiting a little bit in the back there. All right, we get the Light Bomb, Shockwave. We get the kill. We're a little clumped here. I think Josh could probably hang back there. Let's see. Okay, he comes in to get the Q, flash heal, and then puts on the Light Bomb. He moves. Okay, I get knocked back because of Diablo, and Josh was essentially moving forward to try and heal me, so I think that's fine. It's not really your fault. We just need to maintain the proximity, at least between Steven and Josh there. Kyle should probably start moving down this way, because it will, over time, especially with how low health and mana he has, be to his detriment to be that isolated. A weird visual bug with the Orphea ult there. Kyle's kiting. Josh is getting blade stormed. Kyle's kiting. Steven's 1v1ing Orphea. Let's see how this goes. What does Josh have? He has Leap of Faith. I think he calls "Come to me, come to me, come to me," or something. Yeah, I think you could probably get away with a little bit more stutter stepping, just in general, on Thrall. I saw within that like 5 to 10 second span a lot of just sort of parking and blowing, sort of kite around, do some stutter stepping while you're attacking, because especially when you pop Wind Fury, you can get some really fast stutter step autos, and that'll make it harder for Orphea to just like plan where her, her hard to land abilities are, so just avoid parking and blowing. Yeah, and I think I say before this, get mana, or get healthy, get healthy. Okay, so at this point, with as low mana as you have, you need to go back. Yeah, you need a Hearth. Because now by the time Vala and Anubrak are back, you have no mana and you had to leave. A healer with no resources is not a healer. Okay. Yeah, so again on this map, like this camp is so important, and like it's okay to like not engage 4v5 if the if the camp's being taken, or even you know obviously we have two choices. Like I can leave the camp, and then recognize that they engage and then get onto the team, or we just wait like a few seconds before fighting, which they come onto us. But we have ways of disengaging, right? We got Anduin roots and new Brax stuns and all kinds of stuff. So there's an argument for abandoning the camp. There's also an argument for just like waiting a few seconds before committing to a 4v5. Either way, I should say I'm not done with camp yet, or someone says come to the fight, come to the fight. All right, since we have some time with bot wave, I think call all defend mid. Pretty suspect there. Let's see. Uh-oh. See how that goes in comms.
Light bomb.
Samura.
I'm coming mid.
It's my bad. I'm sorry.
Oh.
I tried to pull you, but
I
you were
got
too
too
far away.
close. I got too close to Diablo, and I'm not playing well.
Let the fort go.
Okay, yeah. So just an acknowledged misplay. So nothing to say. And good call on Kyle to just say give the fort. Alright, they get top fort for free. Get a evade there. Okay. Yeah, interesting. Okay, so we end up getting the kill there because Orphea commits a little too much to the fort, and that was a misplay on her end, rather than like we forced a mistake, if that makes sense. So first of all, be considerate of. I notice, Mike, that you like to just sort of walk in. um, which is fine to some extent because you don't always want to be engaging with burrow charge because once you're in, and you do want to reserve the ability to burrow charge out if necessary. But let's just take a look at like the cost, I guess, of sort of just walking into the team, and you may be trying to get like burning beetles value as well to clear the wave. I can understand that as well. So. But let's just look at the cost of like just walking, right? Yeah, so the decision to walk like 2 units, right, costs like 4 units of space for a grand total of 6 away from the team, right? And that's simply because of the decision to walk into the team, you know, while they're pushing. Um, we end up like getting value out of this anyway, but it's and you end up not dying, but don't confuse that with um, like uh, reality bias of like things working out doesn't necessarily mean it's always the right call, right? So think about how what if this was a better team? How would you get punished for this? Be thinking about like what are the implications of certain choices. Um, it just like ends up working out that like the burrow charge is like right where Orphea like badly positioned. So yeah, pretty funny. Ideally we follow up on that cocoon, um, but I don't think we had cooldowns. There's some visual bugs going on, so I can't really tell. It looks like you always have 1 charge, so I don't know. Alright, I call that I'll get the camp. We just need to like posture around boss without committing to it until we know where they are. You never want to just start boss like when everybody's up because they could just like easily come, right? And so you want to base starting a boss either on really good information or like a numerical advantage, right? Okay. Uh, Before we get into the fight, this ends up panning out for us, but I do want to address some things here. Um, and let's check out comms just at the start of this fight.
This boss. Mike's
I got
in.
I got pull. I got pull.
Here.
Samurai's
They're
here.
looking. They're going to this boss. Mike's
I got
in.
I got pull. I got pull.
I'm not there. Okay. So what I'm specifically looking at here, and let's see how many charges of Leap of Faith Josh has. Oh, he goes Holy Nova. Okay. Yeah, so we only have 1 charge of Leap of Faith, right? And that's a pretty precious 70-second cooldown. So I want to hypothesize whether or not we needed the Leap of Faith there, because all of Mike's cooldowns were available. But because there was no communication of I'm good, I'm good, I'm good, that Leap of Faith ends up having to get pulled. So we're just posturing around the boss. All right. Yeah, like I'm pretty sure he's fine there. I don't even think he necessarily even needs to burrow charge out. Um, so, that's a pretty large cooldown that is popped purely because of communication, right? Um, for as far as we know, Mike could be like him personally feeling okay, like no, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. Like just saying that, like I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, like will um, broadcast to the rest of your team in terms of how they should behave. Um, so I know I'm talking a lot about like Mike in this video, but there's so much like communication responsibility on the tank role, and that's why it just keeps coming up, because communication is the thing that we always need to be working on, and it just provides good examples of how communication leads to resource consumption, right? So this is not necessarily picking on Mike, but more as a demonstration of of this concept in and of itself. So I'm not picking on you at all, Mike. So just think about how like, oh, information causes you to do certain behaviors, right? And so because Josh was concerned about Mike, he pulls Leap of Faith. Now he saves him, it ends up working out. However, that is a 70-second cooldown that is not available for other people who may need it. And Anubrak is still relatively healthy. He still has Cocoon, or Cocoon's about to come up, but he still has all of his mobility and his CC. So, to what extent is Leap of Faith there justifiable? It's hard to hypothesize like ifs and whats, but like, I'm just throwing out like the resource consumption based on communication here. Okay, I'm coming down. Blade Storm is in the back. Let's see. Okay, let's take a look again into comms and see what's going on here.
I'm dead to Samuro. Nope, he left.
Smurrow in the back.
The Orphea.
Back up, back up, back up. Okay. So I think there's an argument for, rather than burrow charging this way, that you actually burrow charge back onto Samuro. Let's see. Which, huge clumping here causes every APOC to land in the same place. Okay. What causes the clump there? Okay, the Sunder puts them all together. And we burrow charge onto that. I think so. And doesn't Kyle say like I'm dying to Samuro? That I think that should be a cue to either Steven or Mike to move in that direction. And I'm on my way, and I know I'm calling. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. There could be an argument that that this burrow charge goes onto the Samuro, but that may leave Steven in a bad position. However, this Samuro's pretty isolated. I wonder if he used his clones yet. Let's just follow him. Yeah, so he had clone down. Yeah, who knows? And who's to say that that's the right call? Burrow charging back, but we're just looking at the possibilities. Could we, get him off of Kyle there? And of course, that can also be communicated by Kyle, expressing his ability to kite the Samuro or not, or I need help, I need help, I need help. And again, we see, once you burrow charge in, you're in, right? So, yeah, they made the they made the mistake of walking into this choke. That was very, very bad, and so looked for the immediate shockwave there, and I think I stun. Yeah, and he just has so much healing. It's hard to get him down. All right. Yeah, that went about as well as we could. I don't know that we could have gotten those kills. All right, we do the boss. Okay. I called to go to the objective. I there is a possibility that rather than go to objective, we push with the boss and like get fort and make the boss go to the keep, so that it is like still pulling them away from the objective. Like we probably could have gotten a fort and the objective at the same time. Yeah, I don't know. Like I go top or something, and then you guys push with the boss. I don't know. It's a possibility. Because tomorrow more or less gets it pretty clear of the boss. I don't think double boss is the play. Like this ends up being fine, and it ends up working out. Yeah, that's a possibility. Like we just get the immediate structure damage value because it's essentially what 50 seconds until we experience the value of the objective, right? Whereas we can get the immediate value of the fort being down. Boss ends up pushing all the way to the keep, and while that's pushing on the keep, we go and get the objective. Maybe something there. I don't know which is right or wrong because we didn't do one of those options. So. All right. I'm doing camp, and we just need to be cognizant of that. We don't have to hard commit, but we end up doing it and winning. Steven actually healing for 9 million. Let's see what sort of comms are going on.
Rotate safe side. We have no tank. I've still got pole.
Two are bot.
If you see a spot to engage, Mike, take it because there's 2 bots still.
I'm doing.
I've got pole too. If you get too far in.
Orpheus up.
Yeah, they're here.
They're up here. They're up here now.
Careful, I'm not there yet.
Light bomb on you.
Coming.
Oh crap!
I'm coming.
No, I grabbed the wrong one.
Oh my god, beautiful. Coming.
Oh, there's a tower here.
We got stun.
She's dead.
Nice. Yeah, we got this. I'll clear mid and
Diablo's back. Good
Six
stun.
deaths, but I made that one
Okay,
count.
I'm back. I'm back. Here, I'm back.
Eva's back.
I think we fight. We fight.
Yeah, it's
I'm
4v3.
on the Diablo.
I stun.
He's dead. He's dead. I'm on the Lily. Lily.
Yep, yep, yep. I have
She's
knocked back
dead?
here in a second. Okay, good, good, good.
Gotta
We had
clear
a
mid.
clear.
Okay. So, I know at least Light Bomb was called. I don't think Sundering was called, or Cocoon was called. So, um, you know, the better we can get those out, the better. Yeah. So, Steven ends up healing for, 9 million there. Steven and Mike were sort of on top of each other most of that fight. Part of that was due to the enemy team literally just surrounding you. So some of that was not your fault. Excuse me. Yeah, so aside from Light Bomb, I didn't hear a whole lot of CC or heroics being called out. So, again, if we could, get essentially, at least the tank DPS and, the flex, communicating that between each other, that will enable Kyle to put the damage where he knows it's going to be, rather than him having to fish for it, right? Because if he can guarantee that his damage goes into a certain place, that makes his abilities more efficient, right? So. Ah, dang it. Nice interrupt there. That's great. I abandoned clearing midwave to come back. Kyle says he's on Diablo, so I follow up. Okay. Looks like Lily was DCing a lot, so that may also have contributed to our win. Alright, I make a call to ignore top. I'll go bot, y'all go mid. The reason I say that is it's doubtful that we're going to get a top fort here. I'm going to guarantee that we get the bot fort, let the top wave push that out, and then you guys get the high prize of the mid fort. Right. A lot of damage there. A lot of damage there. But we get the kill. Okay, good dodge. So I end up calling for us to leave. I think there is an argument for staying, since they're 4 and we have Cocoon. So, yeah, yeah, we had a 20 advantage. So, yeah, there's potentially an argument for just like wiping them and ending the game there. So, yeah. And I say stay out of vision, stay out of vision, stay out of vision, because this wall will provide vision for them as well as the minion wave. We don't want to telegraph that we're going to the boss. All right, we wait, and I communicate beforehand exactly how we want it to go, which is a Nubrax stun, shockwave, light bomb. And that's what we do. And then Steven calls that he's going to root, and then I say I'll follow up on the Cocoon. Yeah. And that's the beauty of Cocoon, right? Is that you can go ahead and plan out your CC in addition to just dismantling the team. So, all right, y'all get the boss while I go do the camp. A blind invade there, but it was a good calculated one, right? Because they are only two, so that's a good calculated risk there. And yeah, there was debate about whether to push mid or to push top. Um, either works here, I think. I end up suggesting that y'all push top so that you can open up the keep wall, which will aid itself into the next phase. There's an initial call to go mid, which you probably could just get a keep there. So there's a good argument for both, I guess. How did Kyle kill Orphea there? Oh, Farflight Quiver. Yeah. You got like 8 autos on her. Just for free. Insane. But yeah, this should be a free keep. Yeah, let's see. I think I say y'all should be prepared to leave. So I think in this instance, let's go back to addressing our diamond, right? So let's say that there's a diamond like this, or maybe even like this. Okay. Where you have a noob, you have Thrall, Anduin, and then Vala, because she has Farflight Quiver. You can sort of adapt the diamond a little bit there and put Vala in the back. Or, let's go back to that first one I was talking about. Maybe we position here, right? That way, a Nubarak controls the choke. Thrall can get his damage on the point on the fort. Vala's here, and Anduin's here for pulls if necessary. But we end up just sort of hunkering down on each other. And they're sort of free to go onto Vala. I think as soon as Diva hops into that back line, you cocoon her. Like right now. Oh no. Okay, good. Yeah, cocoon ends up not getting used, so or a lot ends up not getting used. So yeah, especially when it's an even fight. Do what you can to turn that into a not even fight. Use that cocoon. Protect that backline. They have so much to respond to. I go onto OBJ. do boss. That's a signal to us to just do the objective. I say I'm playing him around mid-wave so that we can open this up and get pressure on the mid. Alright, let's back up. We end up winning off of this fight. Good avoid of the APOC, but it does force us to become clumped up. Let's see, Orphea Chomp gets 2 of us. The Diva Unstop comes in. Kyle's pretty isolated. Where's Josh in all of this? Is that him right there? Yes. Okay. All right, light bomb goes out. I think it's great to do a self light bomb here. That's great. It looks like a new Brax coming in, and I'm hog wilding out. I think Diva has to pop out of her mech here. Who knows how this game goes if she goes Cups instead of Water Dragon, by the way. Okay, we get the Shockwave, and then no control comes in. Gets 2 kills. End up dying for it. Good cocoon onto Orphea, and then you finish her up. Let's see how that fight goes in comms. It's a while before that fight. Here we go.
Position. Here they come. I'm in a bad position.
Okay, yeah, I was about to say that was a pretty bad position for Josh, but he recognized it.
Light bomb on me. Healing who I can.
No control, baby. Oh yeah. Oh, okay.
Orphea is here.
I don't
we
have.
we end the game after this.
Nice.
After the objectives capped.
Here, you guys go.
Yep.
Farflight Quiver go.
End the game.
Oh, they're all dead.
Yeah, end the game.
Yeah.
This is just insurance. Go ahead and.
Yep, and we end up winning. So, yeah, ends up working out. Not a whole lot of communication in this fight there. We're pretty lucky that it worked out. In fact, Josh was the only one saying anything. I think I called out a Shockwave, but I didn't call out anything else. I don't think I had anything else because it had been used here before the fight began. Yeah, Josh being over here to start was definitely risky. We want him to be in a position that it has the best. Well, one, to get value out of Leap of Faith, right? He should be in a place that best optimizes his positioning for that, right? To be able to pull people to safety and get them to our side of the map. But Josh was very aware of that. So Cocoon wasn't called in the interim, like as it was going out, but it was called up afterwards. So that was good. And then, yeah, not a whole lot going on comms-wise in the fight there, so lots to say, right? We pretty much the whole topic of this whole video is just like things we could be saying, right? And just how that can affect the decisions of everyone around us. So yeah, it ended up working out. Who knows to what extent this Lily caused the game to be lost, right? Because no cups, and it seems that she was DCing from time to time. But yeah, anyway. Good job, guys. GG's.